about that. Cause I'm about that. I'm about that come up, running up on them fools and talking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing them mics just like I ran and jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front.
Alright. Hello everyone, this is Andreas Pokochkai. That's right. This is weird, I know. This is my first time running the show. That's right, Jeff is taking a break because he lost his voice. Well, technically, someone in the Westworld took his tongue out, like as always in the show, The House of the Dragons. Hello everyone. I just want to introduce, our panelists here. First, Jermaine. Jermaine, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
That's good. Doing pretty good. And first time in this show is E-Chat. How you doing? And plus, correct me if I say your name right there.
Oh, you got it right. You got it right. But everybody just calls me Chad. But I'm doing good. Nice to be here with y'all.
Yes. Oh, and joining us is Elle. Elle, how you doing?
Hey guys.
Pretty good. And then of course, one and only Jeff TrueKnowledge. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, sir. As long as you don't give me any fucking anxiety attacks tonight, moderating the show, motherfucker.
Oh, please. Life is life. Get used to it, Come on, right? I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I was busy time traveling and trying to beat the Cybermen, the Dialects, the Wimpy Angels.
You can't be time traveling when it's your first time ever moderating the show. You gotta be tight. Your shit's gotta be tight. You gotta stay in the same time dimension and shit.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry for that. I'm a multitask guy, and you don't believe me. It's a shame on you.
I know you can watch 3 movies at the same time, sir. I'm very aware.
3 movies. Yeah, sure thing. Anyway,
Condoms, man! It's repression, man! Just another tool of the establishment just to bring us down! They say we gotta use them, but who are they? Well, they want to control us with their condoms, but not me, man, because I ain't wearing one and letting...
Sheik, use one or get none.
Well, these are cool. I mean, I'd use them. I'd like them and I'd use them all the time.
Sheik, get some.
Thank you! Thank you, Mr. Sheik!
I love it, baby. Sheik, Jermaine, get some.
Anyway, Jeff, who tell you to put that clip? You motherfucking clown. You're dead meat.
Yo, 90s commercials are fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Well, if you get the Sheik, then you won't have dead meat.
You heard what that chick said. Use one or get none. She wasn't even playing.
That's true. Anyway, so tonight, we're back again to do House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 3, recap and discussion. So, anyway, I think we'll start right now to do our discussion. Hello, Cyril Dark Nerdy. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us in the comments here. Jeff, could you mind pull up the PowerPoint so we can get this started right now?
Is that your intro, sir? Are you introed out? You're ready to go? You're ready for your PowerPoint?
Yeah, I mean, hey, because someone here is complaining that we're running late, so let me get this on track and get us in the right mood for House of the Dragon. Okay, let's do this. Let's get into our Season 3, Episode 3 recap / summary of this whole episode, folks. All right, let's go to part 1 and do this right there. And sorry with the here, very new, but I will get better soon and later. Hello. I got so many comments here. Anyway.
Don't worry about that. Just focus on your job.
Yeah, so, all right. So, recapping. So, in the beginning, we're in episode 3. We're in the Riverlands. Minor territory dispute. In this land where we see 2 clans, the Bracklands and the Blackwoods, which we saw previously in season 1. So the Bracklands, I think, were the gold people, and then the Blackwoods were like the red and kind of black color scheme people that we saw. So they get into like a scuffle, and pretty much because of the divide of the House of the Dragons, we see now that it's affecting everywhere in the whole like nation and the universe of how Game of the Thrones. So they start to kind of like say like fuck you, you know. Renee,
How do I change pages?
I don't know. Just
Oh, here we go. I got it.
Here we go. So right there, stop there. So those are the Brackens. So those are the red ones, and then the Blackwoods. I think this is the Blackwoods. Yeah, Blackwoods are those, and then the Brackens are the golds. And they start a scuffle, and then we see after that a huge battle that we don't see. We see like a bunch of people dead in a battle, which presumably is the Brackens versus the Blackwoods because of what's going on in Westeros. Jeff, and then after that, we go back to the Dragonstone, to Rhaenyra, and we pick up the aftermath of the brothers being killed, and we see them buried together. Now, Rhaenyra, Rhaenys, the other lady for the Varian, suggests to Rhaenyra that Alicent might be pursuing against war each other, but Rhaenyra is kind of like holding back, like a little bit. Like she knows that she knows that the Greens are also thinking as they do, that going to war will be very very bad, and it could like escalate really horrible that will kill thousands of people. And so that's the conversation for that. And then during part one, we get Rhaenyra wants to send her younger sons, Joffrey, Aragon, and Varys, to one of the Ents for protection, and plus to continue the House Targaryen, just in case if the Team Black is pretty much fallen, or like they're completely wiped out. So these three.
Which image is supposed to be matching up to that, sir?
Get that right there. Tilly right there.
Okay.
Right there. Sorry, just pictures right there. So and then with that character, what is this? Rhaenyra Valerian. She's designed to protect the three children because, well, let's face it, she has no dragon. She, is the only one that's not part of the counselor of the Team Black. So she's going to accompany them, but she feels we get more. What was great about this episode 3, which I really like, is we got more of her character now, because we only got like one glimpse of her during season 1. She's like saying hi to her aunt, and that's really it. So I really appreciate this episode. We see more of her in this episode, having her own opinion, and like she feels she's worthless compared to her other siblings or family members that are helping Rhaenyra in the war that's upcoming, right? And okay, and then after that, Jeff, could you don't mind go up again where we see Aragon, the horrible person?
Aegon, this is not Aragorn. Lord of the Rings is in 2 weeks, sir. 2 weeks.
Well, really? I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan, folks, so that's my bad. Anyway, so we get back to Team Green, and Damien reaches. Sorry, it's mixing up here. But here we get back to Team Black. We see Sir Kristen going to a meeting with pretty much Aegon and was it Aemon?
They have a meeting of the small council.
Yeah, the small council. We see the Lannister, 2 other people that I'm forgetting their names, and then of course Allison is there, and they're discussing to like secure loyalty at the Castellan, and so the Castellan, and so that to get the army up and running to defeat the Team Black. So while this happens, we get Sir Kristen now at hand. He suggests he will go there by horse and move because it will be faster for him to go up there and start like building up the the army right there. So that's what happened in that story. And Jeff, could you go down so I can wrap up part 1?
I can, sir. Yes.
Thank you. So, and this is. Just tell me. Now, then we got Damien. We get back to Damien. He finally reaches to Herodal. And before, this is before Sir Kristen secures the royalty of the Krastin. We meet a new character named Simon Strawn. This is the family member that's connected to Laura Strawn, that's over Restros with the Team Green, and he denounced the Lord and grandnephew Larys because of what happened last season with his brother and his nephew being killed by the fire. He seems that he knows that it's probably his Lord Strawn that did it, and so he doesn't lie to Team Green. So he tells Damien that I will be aligned to Rhaenyra, and that's where pretty much this is the cutoff point for part 1. This is the first cutoff point for the episode 3. So I'll stop right there. This is the first section. So I want to start with Echat. You go first, sir, because you're the new person in this panel. I just want to ask you. So from the beginning, where we meet these two clans destroying each other, up to the point where we meet Damien talking to Strawn in the sorry, what's the land?
The Harrenhal.
Harrenhal. That's the stopping point. Give me your full opinion, and then go from there.
So when I first saw it, I thought of the small council and Sir Kristen. I'm gonna start there because this is his first time like his first day as hand, and it starts off. Normally we see him, he's just kind of sitting in the back and he'll chime in here and there, but here he's kind of like a freak out by himself, and he's late to the meeting. And then when he gets there, I think he kind of I don't know if he realizes it, but we realize he's in over his head. And with the way his character is, like him being in over his head, it just means he's going to go ahead and compound and make things worse. Like the Queen calls him on that when we first see him in there, because she's like, you sent Sir Eric over there knowing that it's going to fail. He's like, and this is like your first act as hand. And now you're trying to go out and push this war, and Allison is really still trying to like rein this in, and I think this is something we'll see through the episode with both of the queens in this, that they're still trying to rein this in, but all the other dudes are like, nah, it's enough of that. We got nukes. We're gonna blow people up. So placing him as hand and seeing how he comes into this and how him feeling overwhelmed leads him to make more and more bad decisions that's going to make things worse, not only as this episode goes on, but I'm pretty sure through this how this whole season is going to go. So I was watching him with that kind of eye, like just to see how he gonna mess stuff up, because that's what he's going to do.
True. And it's very funny you brought up his first time. That's totally me now. I mean, I totally feel his pain right now. It's like, oh my god, I failed to kill the queen. Well, that's not my job right now, killing my king here, Jeff here. But no. But yeah, it's very funny.
Andre's the version that moderating the bleeding edge and fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Chad, for your opinion. I really like it. Jermaine, brother, tell me, what's your opinion right now? You okay, brother? Oh God, please, Jeff, control yourself. Stop affecting. Right?
Yes. So I definitely want to echo what Chad just said. So from the parts that we're supposed to deconstruct right now. So yes, I think I kind of said it last episode. Aegon continues to make horrible decisions. Among them was having Sir Kristen Cole be the hand. This is somebody who's all about fighting, right? So number one, like if you're the hand, you're supposed to be guarding the king. I think of it as a chief of staff, right? So
advising,
chief of staff,
right, Jermaine, advising, if anything, like advising.
Yeah. And so to be in this particular position, basically, like he has, for all intents and purposes, he has absolutely no experience in this particular role. And to kind of echo what Chad is saying, basically, he knows he's going to mess up. He knows he's going to mess up. There's absolutely no, like, he knows he's going to mess up. All right. And so later, another thing that I did want to talk about was Damon. So in the last episode, Damon left for Harrenhal, trying to, in his own way, trying to make up for the colossal fuck up from previously. And we see him basically walk into this place, and he's expecting a fight. Like, of course, this is Damon. He's ready for a fight. And instead, what he gets is a people who are like, nah, I'm not. I don't want that. That ain't my life, right? And in my mind, it's juxtaposed between this younger, brash prince or Grace, whatever he wants to be called, your Grace, versus an older man, a wiser man who knows, nah, this is not what's right. I don't want to die, and on top of that, I don't like Clubfoot. And because I don't like Clubfoot, I'm so happy that you're here. Please come. Please save us. Please right this wrong. Please, because I just because of Clubfoot, I'm not down with Aegon. That's it. And what at that particular point in time, what I was thinking was, you have all these different people who do not like all these other groups of people, and he said it himself, and it kind of echoes something that Rhaenys said. Basically, people fight for all sorts of different reasons, and at the end of the day, years later, they don't even remember why. This person says they're fighting for this reason. This person says that they're fighting for this reason. A lot of them, especially the young, if the younger you are, the more likely you are ready and willing to fight. And that all of that is juxtaposed by this older man who is in this position, and he bends the knee with no fuss. That's what I saw.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm very curious how like this Strawn is, and like how he's going to be important to the overall arc of the season, because like I agree with him that he like Clubfoot, that's a very funny name for Lord Strawn, is really responsible for killing his nephew and brother, and I just hope we got a scene where he's the one that will kill Lord Strawn maybe in the future maybe, but we'll see, because Clubfoot, I hate Clubfoot. We'll get into the part 2, but like, I hate him. He's like, what is he? Like, he's like Loki. He's like tricking like everyone, and it's like, how dumb are you people? Like, Lord Strawn is like,
he's cunning. He is cunning.
Yeah, I know that. But it's like, come on, like common sense here. Elle, you're spoken. It's your turn. Tell me about the beginning and to Damien talking to Strawn. I want to hear your lovely opinion, because we need girl power right now.
Hadn't been a girl in some time, woman. But speaking of women, love this episode because it really got into some stereotypical gender roles, right? So from the very beginning, you have the men that are seeking to go ahead and just burn everything down. We're going to war. And then you see the more softer approach with women like, hey, we don't have to do it this way. Although Alicent and Rhaenyra aren't in a great place, neither of them wants to go to war. And I think, Andres, you mentioned it. I think Chad mentioned it as well. Hey, Rhaenys is whispering in Rhaenyra's ear, advising her, hey, listen, the men, they're not going to listen to reason. Perhaps you may want to try to start with Alicent. And so I love that they kind of touched on the stereotypical, can't talk today, sorry guys, gender roles. So I love that. Moving forward just a bit, everyone has consistently said that Pussy Whipped Kristen Cole is the absolute worst choice. First place, worst choice as the hand. He needs a hand up his ass to make him make better choices. But that's just my opinion, my humble opinion. So we see him, I think as we've all said, he's more apt for a war as opposed to diplomacy. So watching that piece unfold, I'm trying really hard. Oh, hailing from Houston. I am actually in the other room of Jermaine's house. Yay, here visiting. But so in an effort not to break his TV, I just kind of watched it play out. But watching Kristen with that hand jewelry over his armor absolutely makes me want to vomit, because it is so undeserved. That need to be there. So I'm going to move right past that, and let's go to our friend Damon. I know that we love to talk bad about Damon, but he is a necessary evil. I love watching him make horrible decisions, but he gets shit done. He does. So he pulls up at Heron Hall, and Jermaine mentioned it. He is looking for a fight. He's looking for a fight. So he doesn't want to come by this very easily. He's looking to pick a fight, but he doesn't get that. So it's really funny. It's like if you've ever experienced trying to fight a person that is subdued, no one wants to do that. So you have the people willing to bend the knee initially. He's kind of turned off. He won't even eat the food. They're like, hey, we got some fresh venison for you. And he's like, no, I'm good. You're probably going to poison me. And they're like, no, we're good. Like, hey, chill out, brother. Welcome. So it was really kind of comical for me watching him pretty much not have the fight that he so badly desired. And, you know, he pretty much went flaccid because we know he has a hard on for doing fuck shit. So it was absolutely hilarious. And I'm going to stop right there.
Very good. Oh my god, yeah. Circle. Jeff, brother, your next, tell me what's your opinion overall with the first half, with the two clans, then up to Damien at Herondor. You mute, sir.
Fucking mouse, Jesus Christ. Anyways, what I was gonna say is, how much you want to bet Damon's gonna bang that Witch of Herondor chick that popped up in the episode? You know Damon. You know what I'm saying? He's a pussy hound. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, he won't be able to help himself, and she's out there by herself, like, you know, all witching out and shit at the castle. She had no good D. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, David might strap that shit up in episode 4. He might have to knock that out quick, right? It's very possible, because David get around, bro. You know what I'm saying? He likes his pussy, so we can't blame a man. You know, these are different times, but I mean, everybody's already pretty much, you know, mentioned a lot of good shit about that part of the episode. The scenery of that shot of the battle at Burning Mill at the end, with that same, was that a female knight? Is that what that was? Was that a female knight or like a really feminine dude?
It's
really feminine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's just some really effeminate dude or whatever. Okay, that effeminate knight dude is there, and he's got a knife stuck right up in his fucking throat, all the way up, like through the throat and shit and whatnot. That was some iconic shit. It really was. Like, it looked fucking really dope.
But clearly he won the battle between, what do you say, the blacks, the whatever you call it. Clearly he won that, because in order to get to the war, he had to have kill the other people, whoever they were. I can't think of their names.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter again, because they're like they've been squabbling for like since like the real first men time period or whatever, like, you know, from the Game of Thrones lore. Like they've been hating each other since back then, since the first men came over and all that shit. So the small council meetings with Aegon are like such a joke. He's so unprofessional. He's so not a good king. Like, he's like, oh, I'll just go ride fucking, I'll go jump on fucking what's his dragon's name? Sunfire or whatever. I'll go jump on Sunfire and I'll go accompany you, Sir Kristen Cole, on your stupid ass mission to Harrenhal with your little team, you got a little tiny mini army to go fight. How are you gonna take on Harrenhal with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Is it that, like, I mean, seriously. And like, I'm gonna go with you. You know, like, he's all eager to go like fight and all this shit. He's not strategic at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's so stupid for sending Otto off. Like, he really is fucking stupid. Because, like, seriously, if any king needed a hand, it's Aegon. Needs a hand to steer his fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? All he thinks
needs
about,
two hands.
all he thinks about is fucking, right? His boys fucking, right? And trying to act like he's a badass, but he's not a badass. Everybody knows it. That's why the small council, they're like, nah, you shouldn't do that because you're the king and all this shit. When in real life, they're like, it's because he's a pussy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know he ain't gonna do shit, right? He'll probably just fuck everything up anyway. So they don't want him to go anywhere. Just fuck shit up. When it boils down to it, if I remember correctly, didn't Aegon tame one of like the biggest, nastiest dragons?
Yeah, well, Aemon, his other brother. Yeah.
Oh, was it Aemon that did that? It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't Aegon. Okay, it was Aemon. All right. Season 1. All right. Either way, no. So, no, I felt like for the most part, the whole Kristen Cole as the hand is a joke. His whole decision to go to Harrenhal and that with that small force is fucking stupid. It's literally fucking retarded. Like, why would you even bother? Harrenhal's already been defeated before in the past by Aegon the Conqueror with flame and fire. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should come with when you go to Harrenhal. Flame and fire, right? Like, they need to get the dragons involved. It's going to ramp up. Episode 4, it's going to be nothing but fighting. But pretty much that's all I really got. Other than it's cool seeing Harrenhal, right? Like, it's dope seeing Harrenhal. Like, it's so vast. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's supposed to be cursed and everything, and like have ghosts in it and shit and all that for all people that were burned in there. In the lore, the Harrenhal is talked about a lot in the Game of Thrones lore, right? But I really think Aegon wants to be Aegon the Conqueror. That's his problem. He really does. He wants to be Aegon the Conqueror. He sees this as his time to to step up and be his. He's wearing the Aegon the Conqueror armor and shit in the episode. Right? Yeah. For real. He thinks he's Aegon the Conqueror, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's Aegon the ignorant. Aegon the ignorant.
For real. He fucked up with that Ratcatcher shit. That was one of the best scenes of episode 2 was when fucking Otto undressed his ass. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. That was dope. But all right. I'm out. Peace. Okay, USA. Let's do it.
Thank you, Jeff. USA, yeah. I think we should go to another nation. UK. Come on, we should join UK because USA is like going downhill.
Sir, okay, USA is a classic, like saying from Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, sir. So it is.
Oh my God, no! Oh my God. Okay, I'm moving on. All right, let's get to part 2, and yeah. Just buckle up, guys. Part 2 is going to be even bigger to discuss. So, anyway.
Only weeks ago, my lord.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Oh, that was me. My bad.
Oh, you dropped that shit on me? You didn't even tell me?
Well, yeah, you told me that yesterday. Well, Saturday.
I went to go get your PowerPoint pulled up, and there was a video there.
Anyway, put the PowerPoint. I'm sorry, brother. Oh, my God. That was the ghost. We're now experiencing a supernatural event right now, folks.
Sir, you gotta tell a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? When you want me to, when we're playing videos and shit, and whatnot, I got to know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let's put up the PowerPoint and we'll get to part 2. And
no, sir. Let me play your video. This is very important. Sir, why are we playing the episode 4 mini trailer now?
That was towards the end, but anyway, we're gonna play fast and loose here right now. Anyway,
what was the point of that?
Anyway, remove it. I guess. Anyway, I guess get you guys' opinions on that trailer. I mean, What do you guys think?
Wait a minute, Andres. We're reviewing episode 3 right now. We're not even like through it yet. You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna jump to episode 4 now?
Anyway,
Come on, bro. Let's go back to your PowerPoint. All right, sir.
yeah, let's put the PowerPoint. I don't know why you put up that trailer, motherfucker. Oh my
You
God.
put. I didn't put. You put it there, motherfucker.
Why you played it then? Anyway, let's get it. Let's
What
get
the
to
fuck?
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, part 2. Anyone? Sorry, folks. So, we go back to Westeros here, and we meet a new character. Is Allison's brother, Gwyneth Hightower. He has come back from a very long trip. Very intriguing character. So far I actually like the character. He's very interesting. I'm very curious what kind of role he's gonna play. So he's gonna join with Sir Cole with the journey to going up to Herondor, right? And so right now,
Harrenhal, sir.
Harrenhal. Thank you. And while the scene, he picks up a little bit that Allison and Cole are like a thing, like because before they leave, Cole asks Allison like his blessing, like his blessing to like give him, I guess, like some luck before he leaves, because he thinks, apparently Cole thinks he's still in love with Allison, and Allison does do that by giving him he goes into her bra and like takes out this napkin or something like that. I don't know, like a hanky or something to Cole, and then he goes out and he goes with the brother of Allison, and so that's very important. And then after that, we go back to the Dragonstone. We see the departure of the young sons, Joffrey, Aragon, and Varys, Rhaenyra's children, and here we get the two other how you say it, Lucas, not Lucas, what's the older son name?
Lucerys.
Yeah, Viserys, right? And his like supposed wife, I forgot her other name as well, and the sister talks to Rhaenyra, and she feels that going with the kids and then also going
that's Bela. Bela's the one that's supposed to be married.
Yeah, Bela. Oh, thank you, Jeff. So Bela is talking to her sister Rhaenyra before she leaves, and Rhaenyra is expressing to Bela that this trip is pointless. Like she doesn't feel that she's contributing at all. Like this is like how like you're like imagine you're a secret agent and you're being assigned to babysit someone. It's probably the most lamest assignment, and that's what Rhaenyra is thinking, and that's what she's telling. Yeah,
Raina.
yeah. Oh, thank you. To Bela, but Bela tells her, "Look, this is still important. You have to protect these three, like soon to be kings, in Westeros, right? And Queen Rhaenyra, talks to her and told her to, do your duty, protect the kids, and remind her, she's aligned to Team Black, not Team Green, so she has to do that as well when they get up to the
Don't forget, sir, that she made that deal, like for the dragon.
Yes, which that's something Queen Rhaenyra kind of told to her kid right there, to remind the deal, which was very important. But also, before they leave, this was a really great scene. Emma Diarras, great actress, really love her as Queen Rhaenyra. The scene where one of her like little boys come to like hug her, and like that scene was really nice and very heartbreaking, because it's been 2 episodes since Luke's death has happened, and I really like that scene. Is like she hasn't yet like you see her sadness to see her now 3 other kids to leave to be safe from the war, and so that was a really good scene before they leave. And then after that we go back to Westeros, and Aegon is as Jeff brought up is becoming more like the conqueror, and he's putting on the armor suit to like go with to follow Sir Kristen. But however, we got Larry Strong coming in, and and at this part like annoyed me. It's like, come on, Aegon, like that you're right there, Jeff, right there, that image right there.
I know, I see it.
Yeah, so Aegon, how do you say it? Yeah. So, oh, actually, before Jeff, can you go back? Right there. So I'm sorry, I missed one part here. Is Allison? Before we go into Aegon's part, Allison has an emotional talk to her daughter, Helena, and Helena is still Helena, but she says "I forgive you" to Allison, and I will bring up again that like point of "I forgive you" to like because it's a very interesting thing why she say "I forgive you," Allison. So she say that to her mom. So very intriguing. Very curious what that means.
She forgives her for fucking Kristen Cole right there in the bed that night.
Oh no, you don't think that's what she's talking about?
Of course it is.
Really? Okay, I'm okay. You guys had to tell me. That is very funny. That is so funny. But anyway, so that's what she say. I forgive you. And then now we go to Aegon. Jeff, can you go down? So,
I can, sir.
Thank you, sir. Aegon is getting prepared to leave and to follow Sir Chris, and then Larry's Strong comes in and he wants to talk to Aegon. And here is very frustrating. But you, as El as say before, he's very cunning, and he again manipulates and tricks Aegon to not go, and like say that, look, you should stay behind, because if you go out there, you'll easily be killed, and stay here. At least you'll be safe, or in that like form that he was talking about. While is this happen, I think Aegon promotes Larry Strong as the Master of Whispers, which I wish was a movie nerd was here, because I don't know what's the Master Whispers is, but again, he's proponent of that. But after that, well, and then also Larry's is also has a I think that's it. Anyway, moving on. And then here we get the juicy part here in the episode. After that conversation with Aegon and Larry's, we cut into this brothel, and then we follow this man. Apparently, this man, it claims to be a bastard half brother of the late King Varys and Prince Damien, which was intriguing. And he's talking to his friends, and then before we get any confirmation or like official, Aegon comes in. He storms into the brothel, and he like says, "All drinks are free for me," and we get a little glimpse that he is maybe telling the truth, that he is the half brother of Prince Damien and late King Viserys. Then after that, we get this cool scene. I think Jeff will like this scene. Could you go right there? We get this cool scene that I think Jeff loves, is that we go into this brothel of the sex scene where everyone is doing their pleasures. So, we see people naked. We see them, performing,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And Damon was naked, and he did full frontal and showed his penis and everything. It was fucking outstanding.
Yeah, exactly. And then at some reason, my boy Adam gets angrily leaves after that point, because his brother is teasing him because he's been with that one lady for the whole time, his first like prostitute. And it was very funny. I don't know if you guys were laughing at this. And yes, Jermaine, we're not showing the dick. I'm sorry, I was trying to find it, but illegally, I don't know, YouTube will allow us. I'm sorry, brother. I was trying to find the dick pic. It was for you, and
it wasn't that impressive.
Yeah, well, come on. It was big. Come on, you guys. It was a big. I mean,
it was flaccid.
Exactly.
Exactly. It was a flaccid penis.
Yeah, so I mean, he was buff. Actually, I gotta admit, he was handsome. Like I mean, he's also scary too with that
Andre,
eyes.
you should have gave a blowjob.
Oh, f you, please. I'm a straight single man who loves Latino women. There, that's could confirm where I'm at, folks. Anyway, so woof woof, as Aegon has said. Anyway, so after that, what else? Oh yeah. Next, we go back to follow our boy Kristen Cole here, who's really bad. I don't like him. Fuck you, Kristen Cole.
Andre, stop and ask a question, please.
Oh no, I'm almost there. This is the last part. And then I'll ask questions. 'Cause, yeah, this is the last part. So, Hightower. So Allison's brother and some of this group restlessly head towards the village, and then Kristen angrily races to them. But then, when they're the horseback, Kristen sees a dragon that was Bela patrolling the area on the dragon back, and they tried to run very quickly to the forest. And luckily they are safe. And
she kind of looks like she just saw David's dick, and she's like, "Oh fuck."
Yes, or you see Jeff being naked and horrifying and wants to kill him at this moment right now. Anyway,
Amon's dick. I'm sorry, Amon.
Amon's dick. Oh my god. Anyway, and then after that, Bela comes back to Dragonstone, reports this to Rhaenyra's and the counselors about the war, reports this what's going on, and Rhaenyra is getting pressured by the counselor to start the war with the dragons. So let me stop there. I'm very sorry about that. This part was very long. I need to get this all here. So starting with you, Elle, let me go with you, madam. So what's your opinion from meeting Allison's brother to now the point to the counselors talking to Rhaenyra to start the war? And give me your opinion on that.
Al, I didn't know since when are you a madam?
Listen, it's a new title. Thank you, Andres. I'll accept that, madam. That sounds like a new revenue stream for me. So I'm
won't accept girl, won't accept lady, but will accept madam. I don't understand.
Because madam sounds like income. Okay. All right. Speaking of coming,
it sounds like dominance.
I'll take that too. But when we see Allison's brother come on the scene, immediately I pick up on the pissing contest with him as it pertains to Sir Kristen Cole. Don't even know if I call him Sir at this point, but I'm not going to continue to drag him. I'm just going to move forward. You can just pick up on my disdain as it pertains to Kristen Cole. At any rate, he is just not feeling him at all. You can tell his whole demeanor seeks to undermine him as a hand. So the little quips that he has as he comes and starts talking to us or Kristen, I was absolutely laughing. It was an amazing scene to watch. But he questions his leadership and his ability to lead as an advisor for the king. So he was not wrong in that. His delivery was absolutely disrespectful, and I appreciated that. As we moved on, though, we did see that, okay, although he is not a great advisor, he is a great warrior. So whenever Bela pulls up on her dragon, they're kind of ran into the trees in order to avoid it. Kristen noticed it well before everyone else. That just speaks to his leadership as it pertains to him being a commander in chief. So the brother pretty much kind of crawfishes back on his stance as it pertains to Kristen Cole, and it's like, hey, basically you saved us. So we see that as we move forward. I think the next question you mentioned was the Queen Rhaenyra, or both the ladies actually being pressured into going to war. That kind of remained consistent throughout the episode. So eventually she kind of caves in and is like, you know what, although, well, let's back up a little bit. She tried to stand to reason with Allison. She tried to stand the reason. However, that fell apart. Ultimately, she decides, okay, here we are. War it is.
Thank you, Meta, for that awesome opinion. Yeah, I agree. You guys, I feel very sorry for Renea in her position in that last scene with Bella, like in the counselors. Like she's being like peer pressure, like I am right now with Jeff tonight. It's like, dude, start the war now, okay? Or start this live stream right now, or I will fucking go to the other side here.
Oh,
You know,
stop it! I'm not that bad to work with. Come on.
no, brother. I'm just using now what's going on with the awesome Queen Renea. Like my girl is getting pressure right now with these old fucks. No offense, old people. You know, these old fucks is like we want war, and like again, as you guys say before, it's like man just want to go.
They got nuclear weapons, like Chad said, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's merit to some of what them dudes are saying. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I know that, but like, come on, like, if you're gonna start the nukes, right? Nothing is gonna be like
they know that like in land battles and whatnot and all that the Greens are gonna outnumber them man to man. They're gonna outnumber them.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, look, Cole is Sir Cole is getting the army, which I don't know. I cannot see him.
He doesn't have the army. He just took some dudes with him.
Yeah, but like he's trying to get like army like in the other side, but whatever. Jeff, you're next. Let me your opinion on getting to know Allison's brother to the point the counselors of Rhaenyra, all that.
I don't really have much to say about that part of the episode, really, besides, there's Dom.
What's up, guys? I made it.
Hey, Dom, you made it, brother.
Oh, man, right at the end, too.
You missed the full frontal nudity. We already talked about the penis shot.
Damn, I'm so sad I missed that.
Andre thinks the dude's dick was 6 inches long.
Wow, were you? Did you have a measuring tape? Were you keeping track of it?
Actually, he said 6.8. I just want everyone.
6.8 inches.
He said
That's crazy.
6.8.
Well, my friend somehow measure it, and he told me it was 6.8.
My shit hard is not that big, bro.
Hey, I'm telling the truth, folks. Listen. It's real. It's 6.8. Okay, I'm saying that.
Listen, all I'm gonna say is that he rides the largest dragon for a reason.
Yes. Dominic, you're right here. Let me tell you where we're at right now. We're talking about the second half of this episode 3, where we get we meet Allison's brother, and then we stop at the end point is seeing the whole scene where the Rhaenyra's counselors are pressuring her to.
Let me finish before Dom jumps in here. Let me finish.
Yeah. Okay. So, wrap up, please.
I think there's some merit to what Rhaenyra's advisors are telling her to use the dragons and put the dragons in play. They should at least be like finding riders for these dragons, because remember we missed that scene where you see Rhaenyra's dragon, right?
Bela's dragon, Moon Dancer.
No, Sunsmoke, Sea Smoke.
Sea Smoke, yeah, Sea Smoke.
We see Sea Smoke just like running, flying around, restless and shit and whatnot. Need to do rider and shit. Like she should be focusing on the war. Like, don't get me wrong. I know obviously where this episode heads and that she doesn't want the war, but like you got to prepare for war, and you've got these nuclear weapons. You need to be making sure you got motherfuckers that can ride them, right? They got more dragons than the blacks do. They do. Or the other way around. I'm sorry, the Greens. They got more dragons than the Greens. They do. They just don't have the riders, right? So, besides that, I just want to mention that I mentioned that I'm putting $10 on Damon is going to bang the Witch of Harrenhal. Why he's there?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if that happened in the books or not. I don't remember off the top of my head if it was him or Aemon that got with Alice Rivers, but it was one of the two of them.
Okay, well, obviously she'll be happy with Amon with a 6.8 inches flaccid penis.
Exactly.
Motherfucker, I can't imagine what he looks like when he's erect. That shit, you better watch out, ladies.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else, Jeff? Before we go to Dominic here.
Nah, Amon must have some horse dick or some shit. If she's rocking 12-inch dong and shit.
Oh, another thing. My friend told me he's taking experimental pill to achieve that. He told me.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That's what he told me. It was just a weird conversation. So that's what he told me.
Is it Blue Chew? Because if it's Blue Chew, that's not experimental. That's medically sound.
Hey, it was my friend. I don't know where he gets this information. He just told me that. Anyway, Dominic, thank you for coming. And let me recap what I was saying before. Jeff had to wrap up his thing. So from the beginning, meaning the brother, up to the end, when we meet Rhaenyra getting pressure on the chancellor. Okay.
Right. Okay. So first things first, we meet Allison's brother, Gawain, which I talked about this in my channel last night. Gawain, that has got to be, of all the ridiculous fucking names that we've heard on Song of Ice and Fire, I think Gawain, I'm going to keep saying that, Gawain with a capital G. I don't think I can emphasize that enough. It's got to be the most ridiculous name that I've heard. And on top of it, listen, you've already got a hateable enough character like Kristen Cole. So how do you make him somewhat remotely likable? You pair him up with an equally character of equal disdain. Not only a character of equal disdain, but a character who hates Kristen Cole possibly more than everybody else on the show, that being Allison's brother, Gawain. I don't know how many more times I can say that in order to emphasize just how fucking ridiculous of a name that is. Played by the one and only Freddie Fox, who has just been killing it recently on Slow Horses, on Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, on The Gentleman. This dude has been in everything recently, and I can't think of a better actor to portray just the epitome of British smugness. And what better way to emphasize just how out of his depth this guy is when it comes to prepping for conflict than when their first 5 seconds out in the field, they almost get eaten by not even a fully grown dragon. It would have been one thing if it was like Cyrax or Caraxes, but no. Who do they almost get taken out by? Bela riding Moondancer. Not even a fully grown dragon yet. So I just thought that was hilarious to begin with. And as far as Rhaenyra's counsel, I mean, yeah, but this is what happens when you are somebody who is trying to do what you can to avoid war, and yet everybody around you clearly is thirsty for war, and everybody has their own motivations and their own reasoning as to why they want to go to war. I understand where Rhaenyra is coming from, but unfortunately, given the events that have happened in the last 2 episodes, Daemon now has control of Harrenhal. So they kind of have no choice, but you're right, Jeff. The problem is that at the end of the day, even though, yes, their dragons do technically outnumber the Greens, the problem is that their dragons, are not big enough to match Vhagar. They're not like they've got like 4 or 5 fighting dragons on their side. That's still not enough to take Vhagar, because Vhagar is fucking the size of a goddamn jumbo jet. And not to mention the fact that they're still not battle hardened. I'm pretty sure the only battle hardened dragons that the blacks, oh my god, now I'm even fucking it up, that the blacks have on their side are Caraxes and Meleys. And both of them together maybe be enough to take on Vhagar, maybe. But that's obviously what's going to lead to the sowing of the seeds that we get later on in the season. You know, like I said, is the fact that they do have more dragons on their side, but they, like you said, they need riders to claim them. And that's what I've been talking about the last couple episodes of how they've been layering in the dragon seeds. You know, Hugh in episode 1, Adam in episode 2. And now in this episode, I know we're going to get to it, but we get Ulf, the third dragon seed in this episode 2. We get more of an emphasis on him. He's going to be riding Silverwing, who was Alysanne Targaryen, Jaehaerys' sister's dragon. So that's kind of what we have to look forward to there. I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to the sowing of the seeds, even more than what we're getting next week, which is going to be baller enough to begin with.
Thank you, Dominic. I really appreciate that. And before I jump to Jermaine here, quick question: this person that claims to be the brother of the late Viserys and Princess Damian, is that from the book Fire and Blood? And where's like, is that really an important thing in the book? I'm kind of curious.
What are you talking about, Ulf?
Yeah, Ulf. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's confirmed. Ulf is Ulf is a bastard son of one of, I believe it's one of Jaehaerys' various sons, because Jaehaerys, who was Viserys' grandfather, Viserys and Rhaenys' grandfather, but Jaehaerys had 13 children. So, and whether Ulf is telling the truth or not, the likelihood of him being a bastard son of a Targaryen is very high, especially given that, you know, the dragons choose their riders based on the fact that they can smell the Targaryen blood. And that's why it's believed that the people who claim the dragons in the Sowing of the Seas are all of Targaryen descent in some case. You know, Adam and Alan, that's confirmed because they're Corlys Valerian's bastard sons, and Valerians are capable of riding dragons too. So, but Hugh and Ulf definitely have some Targaryen blood in them. They wouldn't be able to claim Vermithor and Silverwing, two of the oldest and biggest dragons who were ridden by Targaryen royalty, if they didn't.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, I'm very curious if they were going to change that in the show, because you don't know, like, now the fact that we got another, like, bastard family relative in the show yet again after, you know, the chorus half sons. I'm very curious where they're going to take that, and if maybe he will take his Slate's son's dragon, you know, Rhaenyra Slate's husband. That's not dead, really. But anyway, thank you for clarifying that. Jermaine, brother, you're up. We're talking about your opinion on the Alicent's brother to, you know, Rhaenyra's chancellor's peer pressure.
I don't think there's much that I can talk about. I was going to talk about what Dom talked about, so I've got nothing. So let's go to the next part.
All right, Chad, you're the last person. Your opinion on the Alicent brother to the, you know, the peer pressure of Rhaenyra's counselors.
The only thing I'll add about Rhaenyra in this scene is just the way that, you know, she has to send off her sons, and the reaction between her sending sons off and how they react to her. I just want to juxtapose that with how Alicent's bastard kids are just like running amok and all the stuff. Like, if you're looking at the two, clearly, like, Rhaenyra, even though, you know, they're presenting her as Rhaenyra the Cruel, and we know there's some things that's about to happen. Right now, they look like the family that should be in charge. They're like, they're reverent to her. They're actually ready to assume their duties. Whereas, like, you got Aegon, who is just running around in whorehouses and is trying to pretend that he's this bigger and better king than he actually is. He's scared, shitless, and doesn't know how to do anything, but he's trying to pretend his way through everything. I like them having that scene in there just to kind of, if you're looking at it, you can juxtapose it to what's going on in King's Landing and how, you know, they a hot ass mess, and she kind of got her stuff together, but you know, everything's about to go to hell, and we'll see some other stuff happen.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. It's very tricky. You know, what's gonna happen right now, because, you know, Rhaenyra is in this point of, you know, just lost right now. Like, you know, everyone's pulling her in these sizes. It's like, you know, not only she has to protect her children, but, like, she lost her son, and then the council is pushing her to start this war, but, you know, with the dragons, which I don't get it. Like, they understand that if you use the dragons, they're going to kill millions of people in the city of Westeros and everywhere. And it's like, why you want to take that risk of, like, destroying all you built? And then, because if you destroy it, it's going to take time to rebuild, and you know, people will not beside you because you literally kill half of their family or friends that they know. So I'm just very curious. I mean, and again, this episode shows how in both sides, like, the gender, like, men will just go ahead and straight kill everyone, and, like, they just care, like, they don't think through of their actions, where, you know, with the women, they do, and they, you know, seriously plan how we can achieve it in a non-violent way, you know. And I think this episode shows that, and particularly with Alicent and Rhaenyra. And then going back, and this is a good part going into part 3. We go back to Damien, and he's in his room as we saw in season 1, the castle was completely damaged by the fire, and so we see like a little gag. The water is dripping down in the roof. He's putting like plates and all that. But then something, this part I really like. It turns into like a Game of Thrones horror show, which is kind of cool. And someone is knocking in his door, and Damien pulls his sword up and he walks through the castle, and then we get this really surprise cameo of Millie Adcock as young Renea in some bizarre vision of Damien seeing, and then it cuts back to this area of the castle where is this big tree, and then I didn't bring up in the two parts of this. We see this weird lady in part 1 when he's arriving at Ariel. This weird brunette lady. She somewhat similar to Helena, like she has some like vision, and she actually say about like she predicts what his death is going to be in the show, and that's very intriguing. And they say you're going to die, and so I'm very intrigued what's this lady about. And I'm sorry, I know she has a name, but I don't have it right now in my notes.
Alice Rivers.
Alice Rivers, thank you. So I'm very intrigued what we're going to do with that character, and are we going to see more supernatural besides the dragons? So I'm very curious about that.
That's Witch of Haredale, bro. That's what I was telling you about earlier.
Yes. I forgot that you did talk about that. I just blanked whatever you say, sir. But anyway, after that, what else? I didn't bring up the White Worm, but the White Worm is being thanked by Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra asks her what she wants in return of saving Rhaenyra in episode 2, and she says she wants to be in the court in place of the Chancellor, because she can help Rhaenyra and the Chancellor how to defeat the Team Black, because Team Green, because she knows everything what's going on in the Red Landing. And so which we get into the next scene where Rhaenyra comes back and talk to her how she can talk to Alicent and how to divert the war. And so the White Worm helps her through some connection she has in the Red Landing. They do the same thing as Damien did in episode 1 by going through the boats to the Westeros as he did, but also by disguise. And you go down, Jeff? We get the picture with Rhaenyra in disguise. So Rhaenyra kind of disguised as a nun, which is kind of cool, and she has someone that's protecting her, like a bodyguard. So right there, and she gets confirmation from the White Worm that Alicent goes to this church that we've seen a couple times in this season for her to pray, and same thing with Rhaenyra when she was young.
The Church of the Seven Septums.
Thank you. And Alicent arrives. Rhaenyra is waiting for her. She close to her, and they kind of talk how to divert it. And honestly, they go back and forth about it's a little too late, and a little too late to like do some peacemaking, because Rhaenyra's son Luke is dead, and then Alicent's grandson is dead. Like everything is about that. And Rhaenyra is asking what happened, like why did you push Aegon to be the king? The fact that you told me in season 1 that I was going to be a good queen. And she told her about her father Varys in his deathbed, saying that he changed his mind. And then she's talking and all that, and then here it was a really great confirmation. She tells about how the prince. What was Jeff? Remind me. Did she say the prince?
The prince that was promised, Aegon the Conqueror. That's who she's talking about.
We did, but I hope you're going to go back because you skipped over a lot of stuff.
What stuff?
We never discussed the Kristen Cole and his contingent being seen by Bela.
I did in part 3. I talked about that next to it in Rhaenyra's counselor pressuring her. But we'll go back to that after I'm done with part 3, and then we'll have open conversation. Sorry about that. But let me get this through the ending here. When Allison say about the prince, Aegon Conqueror, here, Queen Rhaenyra say, are you telling about the story of the Son of Fire and Ice? And then, obviously, Allison haven't heard the story, and Rhaenyra told her that that's what her father told her about this, the story about the white, was it the white, the creatures, the white creatures that we see in Game of Thrones, and told her that wasn't about her son, it was about, Aegon the Conqueror, and of course, Allison unfortunately say it's too late. So what else are going to do now that Otto Hightower is no longer as a hand? How she's going to stop her son Aegon to start the war against her, against Queen Rhaenyra? And then we cut to black. So that's pretty much the end of the episode. We'll discuss that, and plus you can discuss about Sir Kristen Cole and his conversation with Allison's brother as well. I forgot to put that together, but that was part 2. But anyway, let me start with you, Chad. Starting from Damien's visions to the end of the episode. What's your opinion on all of that?
Damon's visions, I didn't know the whole history of Harrenhal and that it's like haunted and stuff. So I got that it was a vision for him. But hearing y'all talk about how Harrenhal is like this notable haunted place, I'm wondering how much deeper it goes than just a vision for him, or if it's something dealing with Harrenhal itself. And I know everybody that knows more about it might be able to add some more to it, so I'll let them get to that. As far as like the end with Rhaenyra and Allison, I found it really really powerful that they would show that Rhaenyra is willing to actually go into King's Landing and have this talk with Allison, knowing full well that none of the dudes in this would ever do this. Like we've been talking about it, how they're ready to just nuke everything, and she's like, I'm willing to risk my life for this before I have to send out a whole bunch of people to die for my cause. And even though most people will never know that, I think it's again showing what her character is like right now, that she's that type of leader. Like, I know if we go to this war, I'm putting all of these people on pretty much, in the line of fire for me and for my cause. It's worth it for me to risk everything to go and talk to her. And then just a moment where they're talking and they both have the realization that this whole thing is starting because of a misunderstanding of a dying man's last words. Like now that Rhaenyra knows that she was never supposed to be skipped over, Allison knows that she misunderstood what he was saying. But even if Allison wanted to do anything, the whole rest of the episode has showed us that they've cornered her off. All the dudes are taking control at the table. It's wartime, buddy. So there's nothing to do. It's that kind of tragic realization that we could have avoided all this, but now, we about to burn it all down, and this is where we're at.
Thank you, Chad. Jermaine, you're up next, sir.
So I liked the 2 parts of the parts that you recapped. The segment with the white worm. Basically, Rhaenyra was like, "Hey, I need your help," and the white worm is like, "Hey, I'll help you. You've shown to me that you're someone that I can trust. You've shown to me you're someone with some level of decency and respect, and so as a result, I'm going to help you. But hey, I want something in return. I want a place in your court," which I thought was smart. On her part, but at the same time, what it was doing was it was setting the stage for us to say, okay, this is how people in this world are going to view these actions. And also, it's kind of like giving us a hint as to who it is that we really should be getting behind, at least in this particular moment. So I really enjoyed seeing that particular scene. And later, what I did enjoy more than anything was the very last scene of this particular episode, when we see Rhaenyra and Alicent basically talking. Alicent is letting her know, hey, look, the king basically decided that he wants Aegon to be the king. And she goes on, because of prompts from Rhaenyra, she goes on to explain what it is that the king actually told her. And it reveals for Rhaenyra what he was actually talking about. She was kind of like, wait a minute, he told you about that? You knew about the Song of Ice and Fire?
Prophecy of Ice and Fire.
Exactly. But she then has to explain to Alicent what's really going on. And that moment when Alicent also understood that he wasn't talking about her son, he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror. And the reality of the situation is Alicent was basically telling her, it doesn't really matter. Nothing can be stopped at this particular point. And both of these women, we both know that both of these women don't want anything to happen, and yet they still know at the end of the day, because of everything that has happened thus far, war must continue. That was like, wow.
Because of
nothing can be stopped.
Because of men too, Jermaine, right? Because of men.
Exactly. Going back to something that Elia said, it can't be stopped. And we now know from this point on, it's about blood, baby. That's it.
Thank you, Jermaine. Yeah, I agreed. At this point, it's war. I mean, what else they can do? They cannot prevent it. So I'm very curious what's Rhaenyra's. It was this decision in next episode to say to her council, yeah, we're going to go war, and we're going to use the dragons to fight against Team Green. Dominic, you're up.
All right. I did a little bit of research into Alice Rivers, because I will admit of my research into the lore of Fire and Blood, that was a character that I was unfamiliar with. So this character is a wet nurse for House Strong. She was a bastard that was fathered by Lionel Strong, and was actually a wet nurse for his two sons, Harwin and Laris. I don't know if they're adapting that exactly from the book, the way that it is, because she appears a lot younger in this, but she ends up getting with Aemond later on in the book / show, and ends up becoming mother to his bastard son. So that's a little bit of lore head for you guys there. As far as Daemon and his visions go, so in order to get into kind of the lore of Harrenhal there, Harrenhal famously, right, was built by Harren the Black to withstand any army from the ground. And up until Aegon the Conqueror, it was until Aegon showed up with Balerion, and when Harwin refused to yield, Aegon, riding Balerion the Black Dread, burned that shit to a crisp. And so there's a long rumor that's been haunting Harrenhal all the way up until the events of Game of Thrones, that the castle is haunted. We don't really get to see that really presented a lot in Game of Thrones, but I'm glad that we get that here. I'm glad that they still remember the mythology, and I thought that perfect way to bring back Millie Alcock, because just as far as that's the epitome of everything, all of Daemon's flaws. That's kind of what has been motivating Daemon up until this point. That's the Rhaenyra that he kind of loved, or rather lusted for, not kind of the adult Rhaenyra that kind of questions him in every turn, and who he views as stolen his birthright, right? And it makes sense, obviously, then that Alice Rivers he finds there, and she literally tells him, you're going to die here, which is exactly what happens. For anybody who are familiar with Daemon and Aemon's final duel that happens over their battle over the God's Eye. Now, as far as the final scene, the final confrontation between Alicent and Rhaenyra, I mean, this is, if you ask me, so I was talking about this on my recap show last night. This season of House of the Dragon, to me, has reminded me a lot of what I think is a very underrated season of Game of Thrones, that being season 7. Season 7, I think, is kind of unfairly hated in the sense of where it kind of gets lumped together with season 8. And I don't think that's fair, because I think that season 7, as far as being the first season to truly surpass the books, because even season 6, despite being the first season that was past the book, still had a lot of elements and storylines from book 5 that they were incorporating as well. So season 7 being the first true season past the books, I think did an excellent job. I think as far as being kind of the summer blockbuster that we needed that summer, I don't know if you guys remember, but that was summer of 2017. Not a great summer for movies. That was the summer of The Mummy. That was the summer of Alien Covenant. That was the summer of Baywatch with The Rock. A couple more that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But needless to say, not a great summer. Oh, and how can I forget? The classic Netflix drop of Death Note, the live-action remake. Yeah, not a good summer for movies. So we kind of needed that season of Game of Thrones. And I don't know if you guys remember, that's the season where we got the loot train attack, where Daenerys absolutely annihilated Jaime's forces. That's the quest beyond the wall. That's the gathering of the Snowicide Squad. And famously in episode 3, one of the most absolute baller moments ever, when the Lannisters and the Tarleys take Highgarden from the Tyrells, and you have that sit down between Jaime and Olenna Tyrell, where Olenna drinks the poison wine like an absolute fucking boss before straight up telling Jaime, yeah, I killed your son. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? I'm already dead. Anyways, one of the most absolute baller moments in the entire history, in the entire canon of Game of Thrones. And this episode, and this moment specifically, this end moment kind of reminded me of that a lot. But again, just so brilliant, harkening back to how this whole conflict started, which was the bitter rivalry that formed between friends, Alicent and Rhaenyra. You guys forget, we forget, those two were the best of friends at the beginning of this show. They went and did everything together. And if you guys remember, it wasn't Alicent that started it, because Otto Hightower, her scumbag of a dad, urged Viserys to marry her, right? And this poor 14, 15-year-old girl is forced, even though she becomes the queen, is forced into the position that she has absolutely no control over. And as a result, it causes this split from Rhaenyra that would unfortunately influence them and haunt them for the rest of their lives. And this is probably the first time that they've seen each other since that fateful day that Viserys died, unfortunately. And you have these two, and they're in the set, Rhaenyra's sept, and Rhaenyra snuck in a last-ditch attempt to try to avoid bloodshed, even though the writing's on the wall, even though there's absolutely no way to come back from this. And she realizes what we all knew, that Alicent fucked up. Alicent misinterpreted what Viserys was saying. Of course, she would have no knowledge because Viserys didn't tell her about the Song of Ice and about the prophecy of Ice and Fire, so she would have absolutely no knowledge of it. So naturally, when Viserys, in his fugued and dying state, mistook Alicent for Rhaenyra and was trying to reaffirm the Song of Ice and Fire, naturally, when he mentions Aegon's name, how would Rhaenyra have known? How would Alicent have known that he was talking about Aegon the Conqueror, not her Aegon? She would have had no knowledge. And that's the shitty thing, is that, again, this is kind of where the final line is drawn. This is ultimately the beginning of the war. Even though, again, we got blood and cheese, we got Aemon killing Luke, we got the duel of the twins, we got the Blackwood Bracken conflict that spills out of this massive battle in the beginning of this episode. I don't know if we got a chance to touch on that, but this is what solidifies it. The fact that Alicent realizes, okay, I fucked up, I was wrong, but it's too late now. To quote, I've likened this a lot to another very famous HBO show, The Wire, at the end of season 3 when Slim Charles was talking to Avon after Stringer's death, and and they're like, oh, because they think that Marlowe's killed Stringer, and Avon's like, and they have no idea of what really happened.
Don, we don't have any idea what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
The point is that there's no going back from this now. There's no going back from this. It's war. It's on like Donkey Kong, and there's no going back now. And now blood is about to be spilled.
Yeah, Don, I didn't do any Wire research before I.
Oh man, watch the goddamn Wire, guys! Come on,
I watched
one of the 3 greatest shows ever made.
I watched the Wire. It was a long time ago, bro.
Well, watch it again. It's great.
Hey, one of the greatest shows. Anything else, Dominic?
That's
to
it.
Wrap up. Okay, thank you, Dominic. Jeff, your last. Please tell me what's your opinion on the last half.
Oh, being on the end of the panel is the worst because everything's already been picked apart. There's nothing left really to like work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else am I going to say really, other than it was good to see Daemon show emotion when he had his visions, right? And elicit that he has a soul at least, right? He's not just a monster, right? I thought that was. It helped his character a little bit and whatnot because he's looking pretty rough right now. But overall, I would say it's a great episode. It's obviously like a setup episode. You can tell by the feel of it that it's leading to something. Like, you know, it's not a boiling point episode, but it's leading. It's an abridging, you know, episode that's taking us to war, right? Like it's there. It's at our doorsteps. It's a matter of simply now lighting the torch in some way. You know, it's setting off the powder keg, right? And I dig that. You know, and I have the trailer for episode 4, Andres. We can play it now at the end of the episode, not during it.
Yeah. Let me see.
I have it myself, sir.
Oh, I could do it. Okay. Thank you, Jeff. Very much. All right, guys. Let's rate this episode. Starting with you, Chad. Tell me how you rate this episode. To what, 8 out of 10? What, like, and tell me why you give it that rating.
You're muted.
You're muted, Chad.
My bad. I'm gonna go 8 out of 10, mostly because of the last scene between Rhaenyra and Alicent. You know, it sums up a lot of the things that have gone on thus far, and it lets us know where we're about to go moving forward. There wasn't a whole bunch of action in this episode, but that's fine for me. The little bit we got was entertaining enough, but it was more about the characters are interacting and moving the story forward. And that last scene, like, put it over the top for me to give it this 8.
Awesome. Thank you. Jermaine, what's your rating?
I give it a 9 out of 10, and let me tell you why. I love political intrigue. I love the fact that they had introduced, what is his name, Ulf, into the storyline, because going back to what Dom, you have Dominic right now. Going back to what Dom said in the past. I happen. It's been about 2 years since I've read this particular book, and I happen to know that what he and others bring to the table are going to be very significant to the storyline, and so I loved seeing this. Not to mention a naked Aemon, but also,
Dear.
but also just the interaction between Alicent and Rhaenyra, and the significance of learning that, and how important that is for the rest of the story. That political intrigue that all worked itself into this particular episode. I don't necessarily have to have action in order for a show to be good, but what they gave was a lot and significant, and I love it. And also, I do want to say, in terms of what's going to happen in the next episode, most of the dialogue that I heard came straight from the book, so that has me excited.
Very awesome.
That's it.
I mean, I thought our conversation with the 6.8 inches dick should have been the reason you put the rating higher, but that's okay. I thought that could have really pushed it. But anyway, Jeff, what's your rating, sir?
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to give this one a 7, just because I think it was a drop off from episode 2, and episode 1. I did, but I think it's going to ramp right up to where, like, episode 4 is going to be like a 10. You know what I'm saying? So I'm being very, like, cautious right now. So I'm going to give it a 7, but I'll agree with Chad. The acting in that final scene between the actress that plays Alicent Hightower and Rhaenyra together, the two of them, was very powerful. It really redeemed the episode a lot at the end. When things kind of slowed down a little bit, it really kind of, like, you know, brought it back in focus, right? Just another one of those powerful acting moments you get during House of the Dragon, right? When you get certain characters together, and that they just these powerful acting moments. A lot of them just happen to always be the ones where Emma Darcy's involved.
No, I agree, Jeff. Yeah, she was great. That last scene, her tear in the chapter was really great. Dom, your rating, sir.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. The other reason why I compared this to season 7 of Game of Thrones is because it also does what I love that season did, which is that every episode, whether there's a major action sequence or not, adds something new and really escalates and brings up the story. And man, they promised us war and bloodshed, and they have not disappointed. 3 episodes in. We got 5 more, and we're already getting our first major battle sequence next episode. Rook's Rest, baby. Let's fucking go. And Jeff, just to let you know, those actresses' names, that would be Olivia Cook, who plays Allison, and Emma D'Arcy, who plays Rhaenyra. 9.5 out of 10. This is my favorite episode so far this season. I fucking loved it.
Oh, really cool. Okay. Okay, my rating will be 8.5 out of 10. I agree with the panelists here that it's very... It's not filler episode. It's like a
setup. It's a setup.
Yeah, it's setup. Yeah, it's a setup episode that's setting us up with the war that we're going to get in the next, episodes, which is great. But what's really great about this show is that it's just the acting from everyone has been top notch. Like the dialogue, the writing is really top notch. I'm really engrossed of the scenes, even without the action, and that's really incredible because if you don't have action, you will be bored. But this show, I'm not bored. Like, I'm very engrossed of what's going on, and that I really appreciate that. But yeah, so Jeff, that's all. Thank you guys for joining us, the audience. I just want to say before I head Jeff to do the plugs and all that, thank you very much, you guys, to join. Thank you for being patient with me, and I know this is my first. It's not my first time doing live stream review, but it's my first time doing like a moderating on the MC Bully Edge. So I really appreciate you guys being patient with me, and hopefully I can get better. But none of that, Jeff, go ahead. Let's plug everyone and let's get out of here.
You did a good job, sir. I'm very happy with you. Dom, talking TV, bitch. What's up?
Sir. Yeah, thanks for having me on at the last minute. Sorry that I was a little late. As you guys can see, I did my own recap last night of episode 3 as well. I'm recapping this every Sunday night after the episodes are complete. Like I said, you guys can follow me at official Talking TV podcast across all social media platforms, and follow me at Talking TV on YouTube. Those are pretty much all my plugs.
Got you. All right. Moving down the line. Now, Chad, I'm assuming that you mostly you're on Fantasy Reality over with Jermaine, right?
Right.
Okay. Just want to make sure I was correct. All right, going over to you, Jermaine.
All right, Fantasy is Reality. Currently, we are covering mostly Interview with the Vampire. You do see that we're covering a few other things, but right now, I was about to say Fantasy is Reality, but right now, Interview with the Vampire is dominating everything that we are doing. And so, yeah, if that's what you're into, fantasy, sci-fi, we do get a little bit into reality TV. So if all those things are your interests, check us out.
It looks like you got a bump, man. You're almost at 300 subscribers.
Yeah.
I see the bump, baby.
Yeah. Interview with a Vampire does it every single time that we cover it.
That's what you told me. Yeah. I'm just a pop culture guy, sir.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is my channel, Channel Presents. I'm up to 969 subscribers. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, everyone. The panelists here, Chad, Jermaine, Dom, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you guys. It was really fun tonight, and thank you for being patient with me. Just recently posted my first July view of my top 10 favorite Tarantino films, so check that out. And tomorrow I will post my 5th part of Cartoon Network Super Secret Crisis War. And yeah, let's have a fun July. And yeah, thank you so much, Jeff, for allowing me to moderate. Next live stream review will probably be Spider-Man 2. I will talk to Jeff to get a schedule for that. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. Let's get out of here.
All right, guys. All right. Well, listen, folks, we really appreciate everybody out there for checking out the show. We'll see you in the next one. It will be over by Jermaine on Fantasy is Reality next Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So come check us out. In the meantime, peace. We out.
'Cause I'm about that. 'Cause I'm about that. Running up on them fools and talking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing them mics just like I ran a jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up.